I'm Father Frank Cody. I'm pastor at St. Thomas More in Manhattan, and this is our Fridays with Father. And I want to talk today about vestments. So when a priest vests for Mass, he starts with the alb, and alb comes from the Latin word for white, so it's just a white garment. But actually, the alb is the vesture of any Christian because it symbolizes the baptismal garment. So, when various lay ministers have a particular function in the liturgy, they can wear an alb as well. But it's sort of an undergarment for a priest at Mass because this is what he puts on first, and then other things go over the top of that. Over the top of the alb, then, he puts the stole, and the stole is just a long, slender garment that goes over the neck. And the stole is the symbol of office. So one of the ways that Catholics know that the person offering them a sacrament is really a priest is because he wears the stole. And then over the stole, he wears a chasuble. And the chasuble is a vestment that's worn specifically for Mass. And the stole goes under it, so you don't normally see it, but the chasuble is the most obvious symbol for a Mass vestment. And that's also where we get a strong sense of the colors of the liturgical seasons. So the liturgical seasons of the year are Advent, Christmas, Lent, Easter, and Ordinary Time. And so there are specific colors for those seasons. So Advent and Lent are both purple. Christmas and Easter are both white. White is a festive color. So whenever the directives say that you should wear festive colors for weddings or baptisms, festive means white. And we wear that for various feasts of saints. So a saint's feast day always gets a white unless they are a martyr, and then it gets red because red symbolizes the blood shed for Christ, and green for Ordinary Time. And there are 34 weeks in Ordinary Time, so that's the color that you see most commonly in the liturgy. All summer long and into the fall until you get to Advent, we'll be wearing green. And green is a symbol of hope. And so what we're saying in Ordinary Time is that we are counting the days, counting the time, the hours even, of our life in Christ, and counting toward the end of all time, which will be the realized kingdom. And we're living our lives in the hope of the resurrection of the just, and hopefully we'll be part of that. Blue is not a liturgical color. And so sometimes white trimmed in blue is worn for Marian feasts. And for example, I have a vestment that's trimmed in blue, and whenever there's a Marian feast, I tend to wear that. But blue itself is not a liturgical color. So this final vestment is called a cope, and it's kind of like a cape. It's totally open in the front, just fastened with a hook in at the top, and it usually has a big collar on the back. This is worn for all kinds of situations that aren't Mass. So that's for priests, and then deacons wear similar garments. They start out with the alb, and then their stole looks different. So a deacon's stole, instead of just going down like the priest's, it is worn across one shoulder and down the other side. And that's the way you can distinguish between a priest and a deacon, unless they have the outer garment on. And the outer garment that a deacon wears is called a dalmatic, which differs from the chasuble in one way, and that is that it has sleeves. The chasuble is just a free-flowing garment that has no sleeves, and the dalmatic has sleeves. And the dalmatic is sort of cut up the side where the chasuble would be full. Again, just a way of distinguishing between the two orders. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the vesture that priests and deacons use when they are having liturgical celebrations. And the symbolism and the liturgical colors are good information to know. And more knowledge helps all of us to participate more fully in the liturgy, but also for those of you who are catechists, these are things that you can teach your students and parents can teach their children. So thank you.